Ultimo here. It is Monday, July 26th. Winding down my epic adventure. Got a couple more days here, and then I got to head back to H-Town in humidity and heat. Not looking forward to that so much, but I do need to go home. Meanwhile, I'm taking advantage of the last few days. I'm here up on Church Camp Road up above Fraser. About 10,000 elevation, just beautiful scenery. A little bit of damage from pine beetles, a little bit of damage from fire, but the creation is restoring itself. Lots of flowers, beautiful flowers, all different colors. Really amazing. But yeah, just up here with my buddy Rossi, my four-legged friend. His mom and dad are out of town, so I'm watching over him for a while. And it's just us. What do you mean, just us? What about me, Vlad, your friend? I take care of you. All right, yeah, I forgot Vlad's here. Yeah, don't forget about T-Rex. I'm always with you, too. Me too. I'm here. All right, I do have some companions with me. And don't forget about me. Hey, who the heck are you? Why, I'm Alpha Male. Alpha Male? You look like a Neanderthal to me. Yeah, that's the problem with you 21st century people. You assume you've ascended to some other greater being or what have you, which is just utterly ridiculous. Look at how you live. Look at your culture. Chaos, anarchy, murder, violation of children, slavery. Yeah, tell me how great your world is. Tell me how you people have advanced to something greater. I mean, you don't even measure up against people of the past. What about you, the forefathers of your country who created the Constitution? You ever studied that for a bit? Then there's the men of the 15th century who changed the world. Those men spoke multiple languages, musicians, art, did all kinds of things. They weren't unidimensional like the people of your culture, where people are so-called specialists but only know how to do one single thing. Yeah, tell me about how you've advanced and how great your culture has ascended. Well, you bring up a good point there, Alpha Male. Maybe things aren't so great. But what's your point? My point is that you've been deceived by this whole evolution thing and you think you're evolving into something greater. What do you mean I've been deceived? I told T-Rex I grew up in Clear Lake. That's a science town, NASA. We learned all about evolution. That's what they taught us. And I went to college. I went to a science school. Again, taught about evolution. Yeah, well, again, your people have been misguided by that whole evolution thing. I don't follow you. You got to explain a little bit. Well, let's just say you're willing to overlook the fact that even your friends at NASA proved that the Earth and the universe is not billions and billions of years old. That Earth is a relatively new planet. Well, how'd they do that? Well, you remember that lunar module? You remember the discs that were on the bottom of the legs, and then below that there were some needles that stuck to the ground? Yeah, I remember those. Well, the purpose of those needles were in the presumption of a billions and billions of years old planet and universe, that certainly there had been dust and dirt buildup over the billions of years, and those legs were going to, kind of anchor the lunar module as it landed. Well, it turns out there was like maybe an inch of dust. Think about it, like even on Earth, when really old places, say in the Middle East, where they're thousands of years old, I mean, there's feet of dirt over what used to be villages and places where people live. It's feet deep now because of all the dirt's built up over time. That's just in a short amount of time. What do you think would have happened in billions of years? Okay, you make a good point there. But still, though, that's what they taught us. Yeah, but what they didn't teach you was that the theory of evolution doesn't even meet the criteria of a theory. So it's not even a legitimate theory. What they also didn't teach you is that reportedly Darwin in his deathbed denounced evolution as a hoax. Plus today's science has moved on from evolution. Even people like Stephen Hawking give credit to the idea of an intelligent design. There's too much order to this creation for it to be some kind of random sequence of events where two meteors collided and there was a primordial ooze and somehow animal crawled out of that and eventually monkeys were there and man came from monkeys. It just doesn't make sense in the order of today's creation. Just look around you. How beautiful the creation is, how splendidly it operates on its own. It doesn't need man's help. It works quite fine without man. In fact, it's man that fouls it up. Another good point there, Alpha Male. I don't know, though. Evolution's still a big teaching everywhere. They're still teaching it in schools. Yeah, and it's wrong. Why is it that they don't teach other alternatives? Why does it have to be only evolution? What about other teachings that are not so great in the school system now? They're pretty misguided. Oh, you got another point there, Alpha Male. Anyway, Alpha Male just wants to come here and challenge the idea that he came from a monkey. This is Alpha Male, typical American stooge. Everybody knows man is God. Have you seen Vlad on horse without shirt? Obviously I'm God. Life is about power, about take. Rid of weak people. Be like Vlad. Vlad is God. Well, I don't know about that, but T-Rex says, eat, drink, and be merry, because you might be like T-Rex and tomorrow you're gone. I mean, it feels good. You should do it. Yeah, the problem with those two ideas is that when I look at this creation and come to the reality that there is a creator, then I have to acknowledge my existence in the creation in relation to the creator. And then I look around and see what I have done in this creation. What I've done to other people, what I've done to my family, what I've done to my friends. What I've done in this creation brought nothing but death and destruction. It leaves me in this helpless place of what do I do now? Hey, Ultimo, teach him about the gospel. Relieve Alpha Male from that burden he carries unnecessarily. Well, as usual, the king has a good idea. And the idea is pretty simple. That if you can latch on or at least acknowledge the idea that there's a creator, maybe what's more important than how the creator created, maybe what's more important is the why. You got to ask yourself, in this creation that's so orderly, that works so well, even amongst people when we have proper order and we have proper relationships and healthiness with each other, it all works so splendidly, not the consequence of some random events. And when you ask that question of why, think, yeah, why would a creator do that? And the only logical conclusion is that the creator is a loving creator and created this creation for his people to love, for us to enjoy. But he also created us to have a relationship with each other and to enjoy each other. But there's a problem because amidst the beauty and order of creation as well as relationships, we bring nothing but death and destruction. And if we're left there, it's a pretty hopeless place. And yeah, you better worry about things like, when is this world going to end and how's it going to end and is it going to be, when's the next pandemic coming and all the other things, and the inability to trust any of the systems anymore. They've all failed us. Medical, legal, science, education, they've all failed by now. What are you going to trust? And that's a really helpless and hopeless place. But Jesus said, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever would believe in him would not perish but have eternal life. And so there's this creator who lovingly created everything, spoke everything into existence by the power of his word. God gave us these trees, these flowers, the grass, all the animals we can see, for us to enjoy, for us to be a part of, for us to be stewards over. But there's something within each of us that rebels against that idea, that we were created with purpose and meaning by Creator. And we willfully and deliberately seek independence each and every day. And if left to our own devices, this world would be a bigger mess. But when God sent his Son, he sent his Son to bear the consequences of all that we have said and done and thought. For all the ways that we've strayed and done bad things, wrong things, hurtful things. God's Son took responsibility for that. And it's interesting, too, that when he says God so loved the world, meant the entirety of the world, everything. Every human, every plant, every animal. But part of the trick is that when it came to his creation, he didn't speak humans into existence. God came down to the earth, got on his hands and knees and formed man from dust and breathed the breath of life into man. Gave man souls. And we all have souls that are eternal. The only question is, where's your soul going to spend eternity? With your Creator or independent from your Creator? But the good news again is that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever would believe in him would not perish but would have eternal life. So there is an eternity with the Creator. You can't imagine what this creation is going to look like in perfection. Without pine beetles, without fires, without destruction, without the pollution that man's brought. It's going to be a good day. Looking forward to that day. In fact, I hope it's soon. Ultimo out.